Well, for the very latest, let's bring in Jordana Miller. She's Jerusalem-based ABC News correspondent. Jordana, we heard a little bit of Netanyahu's latest remarks there. He's marking 100 days of war with the pledge to continue the fight. How much pressure is he coming under in Israel to achieve his military objectives at this stage into the war?
Well, he's under a lot of pressure, not only to achieve the military objectives, but to bring home the hostages who are still, there are 132 of them still in captivity. So Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, while he still has wide public support for this war, this is a significant marker at 100 days. And as you said, coming on the heels of those hearings that were held in The Hague this week, Netanyahu basically promising the public that he is not going to give in to any international pressure to come out of the Gaza Strip, pull troops out, and end this operation before it has really been able to achieve its objectives, and that is to push Hamas out of the Gaza Strip, assassinate, kill most of its leaders, but really, most importantly, to dismantle Hamas's military infrastructure. Now, Israel has already done significant damage to Hamas in northern Gaza, where there are fewer troops and tanks and military operations there. But it is clear that in the southern part of the Strip, those operations are going to be very intense, fierce combat still with airstrikes in the center and in southern Gaza, and now leaked reports that clearly Benjamin Netanyahu wants the world to know about, that Israel is preparing at some point to take over what is called the Philadelphia Corridor. Now, that is the Egyptian Gaza border, which has been one of the ways that Hamas over the years was able to smuggle in so many weapons. So that key operation, which is a delicate one because Egypt and Israel have a peace treaty, but Israel is intent on taking the Gaza side of this border and controlling it in any kind of long-term security arrangement, or in the interim until there's a governing body that can come into the Gaza Strip. So that all still lies ahead. So Netanyahu essentially saying no injunction by the court in The Hague is going to stop Israel from completing this job, especially in southern Gaza. And that is really a pledge to the citizens who need to go back home and want to go back home and will begin to go in February. They want to feel safe. And of course, all of this as a deterrent, as the country and the world looks at the northern border, Israel's continuing volley of low-intensity warfare with Hezbollah, hoping that is not going to expand to another front.
And Jordana, you mentioned the pressure that Netanyahu is coming under to secure the release of those hostages still being held in Gaza. Where do things stand currently? Again, tens of thousands gathered for another rally in Tel Aviv on Saturday evening.
Right. There was actually an all-night rally that was held. It is still ongoing. There are several events today in Tel Aviv in Hostage Square, which has become the kind of iconic place for hostages, both released and their loved ones, to speak to the public. Netanyahu under enormous pressure. It appears that he's going to try to get another hostage deal released before the actual end of this war. But it may be built in, from what we understand, in phases over months that could at some point put a deadline or an end to this war, which would allow Hamas to be part of the deal, since they have held the line that they're not going to release any hostages until the end of the fighting. But they're under tremendous pressure, and it is a tremendous wound, an open wound here in Israel, that there are still 132 hostages at day 100. And I just want to highlight for everyone watching that it includes young women who we know are being sexually assaulted. I mean, last night, one of the released hostages spoke about this from the stage, and it's heartbreaking and frightening. And really, as the world needs to know that these young women are being abused and they need to come out. They need to get out of Gaza.
Jordana, thank you so much for that update. That is Jordana Miller, Jerusalem-based ABC News correspondent.